Welcome to Collins French with Paul Noble. Content copyright Paul Noble 2010.
Part 1.
I'm Paul Noble. Over the years, I have taught many people. Curiously, they have each had much the same story to tell regarding their previous experiences of language learning. As a result, these days, when I first start a teaching session, I ask my students to raise their hands if they have had any of the following experiences. Raise your hand, I say, if you studied a language for several years at school, but came out unable to really say anything. Or, if you have ever bought a language course and given up around page 30, somewhere around chapter 2. Or if you have ever felt more confused by a teacher's explanation of the language than by the language itself. Perhaps you've been amazed by just how closely grammar books resemble furniture assembly instructions. Or you may have felt that you are in fact more or less incapable of learning a foreign language. Invariably, when I ask these questions, all the students soon have at least one hand in the air, and they laugh. They laugh because for some reason our language learning experiences tend to be very similar, and sadly, these similar experiences tend not to be very good ones. My own initial experiences of language learning were also uncannily similar to those I've just described. In fact, when I ask my students these questions, my own hand is the first to go up, and it stays up until we have gone through them all. However, these less than positive experiences have had an upside both for myself and for those individuals I have taught, because these experiences, along with a number of other factors, have helped inform and shape the method that will be used during this course. Using this method, you will learn how to communicate in French and how to formulate your own ideas and thoughts using French. As you learn with it, you will quickly discover that I do not use complicated grammatical explanations at all, and I will not ask you to memorize long lists of vocabulary. The way the course is structured will by itself ensure that you remember what you are taught. Instead, through your interaction with the CDs, I will lead you through the French language, enabling you to build up complex sentences by yourself, step by step, so that you are actually speaking independently in French by the end of the course. And this is regardless of how little or how much you know when you begin. You will also discover that the language I teach is designed to be adaptable, so you will be able to use it just as easily for holidaying in a French-speaking country as for living or working in one. It will be just as easy to use it to order a coffee as to hold a conversation with the waiter who brings it to you. And again, all of this regardless of how little or how much you know when you begin. This method has already proved extremely successful with a very great many students, including hundreds of so-called no-hopers. Interestingly, not one of these students failed to learn using this method. It is these many success cases, letters of thank you, and even the occasional hug that have made teaching languages so very worthwhile for me, and it is this that has persuaded me to publish my courses here for the first time. I anticipate and hope that they will be as effective for you as they have been for so many of my other students. Au revoir, and good luck. Before we begin, I do need to establish 3 parameters, or 3 main ground rules, for you to follow when you use the course. The first is that I want you to take time to think out your answers when you're doing the course. Natural length pauses have been included in the course anyway, but if you feel you need longer to think out or work out your answer, simply pause the course and think about it for a moment. The second ground rule, and perhaps the most important, is that I don't want you to make an effort to remember the things I'm teaching you.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?